can really get used to doing videos like this. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. In any case, hello guys, Turbocharged 51 over here. I hope you're having a splendid day wherever you are in the world. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to my cringy face. Yes. Alright guys, quick topic I want to talk about heading into the 2025 Motorsport calendar year. So obviously from today or yesterday, I'm not exactly sure, 1 month, then the 5 red lights are going to go out in Melbourne, Australia to kick off the 2025 Formula 1 season. But that's not what I want to talk about, even though I am beyond hyped for this year of F1. My excitement levels are through the roof. I mean, we've got so many new rookies. Hamilton at Ferrari. There's going to be a big shift. A lot of teams shifting towards the 2026 regulation changes. We're going to see who's going to be in it for this year to try and secure a championship or bigger points or whatever. This year, F1 is unmissable. And if you guys want some more F1 content, I'm actually part of a Formula 1 podcast. I'll actually link the channel in the description down below. Our podcast is called Break at the Apex. It's myself and 2 of my friends from Cape Town, Graham and BT, and we have a lot of fun, and we talk everything F1, and we do podcasts for almost every race. Just sometimes life gets in the way, but I mean, love those 2 guys, and I'm proud to be part of Break at the Apex. Channel link in the description down below, or just type in the search bar Break at the Apex podcast. In any case, so what I want to talk about today, guys, is endurance racing. Now, I know a lot of you guys have got a certain idea of me, the fact that I am absolutely F1 crazy. And to give you guys just a small idea, okay, not just F1, but Ferrari crazy, but it started with F1. I'm quickly going to show you something. Give me a sec. This is my little Ferrari collection of Ferrari road cars. So we've got a 250 GTO, 575 convertible, 430 599 GTB, 575 race car, F50, F430 Scuderia Spider 16M, F430 Scuderia 360 Modena, F40 360 Modena, 360 Scuderia, Scuderia 360. My favorite Ferrari of all time, the 599 GTO, an Enzo, the 2004 Michael Schumacher F1 Ferrari, 2007 Ferrari FXX, and inside this little box that looks like a book, there's a very, very valuable 1980s Ferrari F1 car, but I'm not going to go crazy and show you guys all that. Then also, one of my old calendars, a 2022 calendar, it's like just F1, Sorry, my camera work today is pathetic. But in any case, I mean, yeah, 2021 season cars just plastered on there. And then here is my signed Michael Schumacher portrait. Excuse the glare from my window. But and that is actually an authenticated signature from Michael Schumacher himself. And this photo was taken and he signed it. These 2 are just like extra printed photos to make it look nice. But Michael Schumacher, 7-time world champion. So yeah. In any case, back to the topic at hand, we're talking endurance racing. Now, for those of you guys that don't know what endurance racing is, a quick breakdown is that endurance racing is anything from basically 3 hours to 24 hours. Now, the 2 endurance racing series that I follow is the World Endurance Championship, otherwise known as WEC. So when I talk about WEC, you guys know it's that one. And then the American version of WEC, which is called IMSA. Now, the reason I'm excited and why I want to talk about this year, oh, guys, it's actually been good for the past 2 years, but it got into a real good stride last year, and this year it's gonna be banging. It's gonna be absolutely banging. So here's what I quickly want to talk about. So first of all, you've got excuse that. That was very rude. Apologies. The thing I want to talk about is mainly the hypercar class. So there's 2 classes, and the one I'm mainly going to be talking about is WEC. We'll talk a little bit about IMSA later on. So WEC is mainly the Le Mans prototype cars, which are called hypercars, and then you've got GT3 cars. That's the only 2 classes that race. Now, people see WEC as just the 24 hours of Le Mans, and it's so much more than that. Yes, Le Mans is the big event every year, like the Monaco Grand Prix is for Formula One. The 24 hours of Le Mans is like the big endurance racing event. But there's a lot more to that. There's a total of 8 rounds for the World Endurance Championship, and it kicks off in 2 weeks for the Qatar 1,812 kilometers. Now, in the hypercar class, there's many manufacturers from Ferrari, Toyota, BMW, Alpine. Oh, there's so many. And the one thing that I really quickly want to talk about is the Aston Martin Valkyrie. For the first time in I don't know how long, we are going to have a normally aspirated V12 powered race car in a series where all the motorsports in the world are trying to go more green, and the engines are getting smaller with less cylinders. They don't sound as epic as old race cars, blah, 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 blah. You've got a 6.5 liter NA V12 in a hypercar race car. Now, one thing that the information that I could come across so far is the Aston Martin Valkyrie will not have hybrid assistance. It's going to be fully internal combustion engine, so ICE for short, or ICE. Now, the thing for me is, it's not just the Aston Martin that I want to talk about, but currently your constructors champions are Toyota. Toyota are always on top of it with the GR10 hybrids. Epic cars, not the most beautiful cars, but they are fast race cars. Race cars are not meant to be beautiful, they're meant to be fast. Then you've got Ferrari right on their tails with the 499P. The Porsches in there with the 962s. No, sorry, 963s. I can't remember. But there's the 2 Porsche Penske Motorsport cars, and from last year, the Hertz team Jota cars were also Porsches, but they have gone to Cadillac this year. Now, if you're looking for the 2 best sounding cars in any form of endurance racing, it's the Cadillac V Series, it's powered by a 5.5 liter normally aspirated V8. Guys, just go on TikTok and go put in Cadillac V Series hybrid to internal combustion. So it literally, as it pulls out of the pit lane, it's on full electric, and then the car just starts as it's busy rolling. It's an insane noise. And then you've got the Aston Martin Valkyrie, which sounds insane. Again, go hit up TikTok, go hit up as many freaking videos as you can. Most of the Aston Martin Valkyrie videos currently are on the IMSA TikTok and Instagram pages, so go check that out. The car sounds sublime. It's incredible. But here's the main topic that I want to get to. Besides the Aston Martin Valkyrie that I'm so excited to see, and the fact that the BOP that has been applied to this series brings it so much closer, I honestly think for the 2025 season, it's not just going to be between Toyota, Ferrari, and Porsche. Because heading into the final race of last year, the 6 hours of Bahrain, there was a Porsche, a Toyota, and a Ferrari that could win the Drivers' Championship. Toyota already sealed the Constructors, but there were 3 different car manufacturers that could take the Drivers' Championship, and it went to Porsche Penske Motorsport. Now this year, the one thing I want to talk about, hence the hat, BMW ended last year on a very good note, not just in WEC, but in IMSA as well. So they were always in contention to fight for the win at IMSA. They just never got it to the checkered flag. And the main race that stood out to me last year when it came to WEC was the 6 hours of Fuji. And we had a BMW finish in P2, and the other BMW had good pace. It just was unfortunately involved in an accident, like on the 2nd or 3rd lap, that put the car a few laps down, and they never could recover. But they were running at the front runner's pace. And I honestly, it's more of a hope than I think, but I really, really hope that BMW is going to get into the conversation of fighting for wins this year. I mean, in WEC, one of the hypercars has got a South African driver in them. If you guys follow me on TikTok, you'll know I've talked about this a lot already this year with Sheldon van der Linde, and his older brother Calvin is driving for Team WRT Belgian in the M4 GT3 Evo in the GT3 class. So there's 2 South Africans racing in WEC. And I honestly hope BMW just figure out that final little bit of performance that they need to stick it to the guys in front. And I really think BMW needs to be kept an eye on this year. And then the other team that I feel really made strides last year, they just never, same as BMW, they just were never there, but they only race in WEC, not in IMSA, is Alpine. Alpine, for me personally, besides the new Valkyrie, have probably got the most beautiful car on the WEC grid. That Alpine hypercar is just a thing of beauty. And this year, that car had good performance. It really, at some racetracks, it was damn fast. It had the same pace as the front runners, but the car's main problem was reliability. Typical Alpine thing. We see that in F1 as well, but that's not the point. I think the Alpines honestly need to be kept an eye on for this coming season. And I'm not sure if he's still driving for them. I'll have to go double check. But last year, Mick Schumacher drove for Alpine, and he was pretty darn good in a hypercar. He was not so good in an F1 car, but put him in a single-seater endurance racing car, and Mick is properly fast. So there's plenty parts of this year. The only thing that I want, besides the drivers, I want somebody to dethrone Toyota for the Constructors' Championship, as long as it's not Porsche. I don't know why. Porsche road cars I love, but for some other reason that I can't put my finger on, I can't stand Porsche when it comes to their racing cars. I've got a slight fondness for their GTE, the old generation GTE cars, and their GT3 cars, because those 911 GT3s sound phenomenal. But I almost never support them because Porsche was so dominant at a stage in endurance racing. They won everything constantly, that there were stages where Porsche got a bit toxic towards the sport itself, and that is something that I never liked. So I struggle to support Porsche. But any other manufacturer, whether it's BMW, Ferrari, Aston Martin, Cadillac, I love the Caddies, by the way, Alpine, Peugeot, there's so many other constructors driving in endurance racing right now that can take it to Toyota, and I honestly feel that it's time to see somebody else at the top. And my honest hopes is obviously BMW first and then Ferrari second. But guys, if you're a motorsport fan, even if you're just an F1 fan and you haven't given endurance racing a chance, I know the thing that a lot of people are just like, but I don't have 6 to 24 hours to watch a race. I get it. Make time one weekend, cancel all your other plans, and just sit for one race. Take a short one, take a 6-hour race, because the Qatar one is 8 hours with the 12 kilometers. So take a short one, like say for instance the 6 hours of Spa, 6 hours of Fuji, 6 hours of Bahrain, 6 hours of Imola. Take one of those. You guys will not be disappointed. It's not the type of racing where somebody's in front, they pull away, and then there's nothing going on. There is constant battling, not just at the front, but in the midfield in both classes. And it's phenomenal to watch. And then the other thing that I want to talk about that I'm really excited about, but that I will be supporting Ferrari for, is the fact that Ford is coming back to the World Endurance Championship in 2027. Now, yes, it is still 2 years away. I get that. But we've all watched the movie Ford versus Ferrari. We've all watched the documentaries of Ferrari versus Ford at Le Mans in the 60s. And guys, it's happening again. It's going to happen again in the top prototype class which races at Le Mans. I can't wait. Ford are already part of the GT3 class. They're racing Mustang GTDs. Ford Performance are racing 2 of them. And in IMSA, there's also 2 Ford Performance ones. And I think there's 2 privateers that race with Mustang GTDs. Privateer teams. And in 2027, Ford are building a hypercar to compete in the top class at Le Mans. I can't. This is so exciting. And by that time, teams like Aston Martin, Peugeot, teams that are really struggling right now, and I'm not saying Aston Martin is going to struggle, but that is the conclusion that most people can make. The car's not going to be on pace from the start unless they knock it out of the park, but the chances are slim. By that time, these teams will have been able to have developed a car to be at the front. And then you're going to have Ford coming in, and it's just going to be a renewed rivalry. And I can't wait for that. So 2027 Ford versus Ferrari. And you guys, seriously, if you've never given endurance racing a chance, give it a go. You will not be disappointed. And the last thing that I quickly want to end this video on is talking just a quick 2 minutes about IMSA. So I never watched IMSA, and the main reason I don't watch American motorsport is because I can't stand the commentators. The certain way they pronounce certain car manufacturers and just certain ways of their commentary to me feel so unprofessional and just as if it's just another job type of feel. I don't like American commentary, so it's very hard for me to watch American motorsports. But luckily, IMSA have pulled in a few British and British commentators and commentators from other countries to make it a bit more interesting. So IMSA is watchable commentary wise. But the thing this year, so Aston Martin with the Valkyrie are going to be racing at IMSA as well. Now, a car that we will not be seeing on the World Endurance Championship grid that we did see in 2024 was Lamborghini. Now, the new rule for WEC is the fact that you have to have at least 2 cars entered. If you're driving in, no matter what class you're driving in, if you enter a team, it has to be 2 cars. So, and unfortunately, Lamborghini only have the one hypercar. Well, they've got 2 hypercars, but one raced in it permanently at IMSA and the other one in WEC. So it was hard for them to come to this year's rules and regulations to have 2 cars at WEC. So as far as I know, they are still going to be racing with only 1 car at IMSA. But if you guys want to see the Lamborghini, which is also a absolutely stunning prototype, it's going to be racing at IMSA. And IMSA live stream a lot of their races on YouTube. And both WEC and IMSA, even if IMSA don't live stream it, a few weeks after the race happens, the races will be posted on YouTube in full for us to watch. So even if you have to wait a bit, it's worth it. I mean, the last 3 years, the 24 hours of Le Mans have been posted on YouTube. If you go on the WEC YouTube page, you can find the 24 hours of Le Mans, the full 24 hours in one video. So it's worth it, man. It's really worth it. But back to IMSA. So IMSA is going to be Porsche, Cadillac, Acura, aka Honda, Lamborghini, Aston Martin, and I'm missing someone. Wait. Let me go through it again. Cadillac, Porsche, BMW, Lamborghini, Cadillac. And Acura. There we go. We've got all 6. So basically the Acuras were mostly designed for IMSA, so they don't race in WEC. But WEC and IMSA are so similar that if Honda really wanted to, they can very easily get the Hondas in WEC, which I really feel they should do. But IMSA this year, it's the only racing series that still allows the only I want to say big, very popular, very big motorsport series that still races with LMP2 cars. LMP2 cars, as far as my knowledge goes, but I am talking under correction, so you guys can correct me in the comments if you want. But as far as I know, the LMP2 cars, when it comes to WEC, will only be racing at the 24 hours of Le Mans. Other than that, they will be racing in IMSA for almost every race that the cars are actually able to go on the tracks, because in IMSA, a lot of the tracks are very bumpy. So sometimes the hypercars and the LMP2s, or the prototypes, cannot always race, or the tracks are just not big enough to accommodate those fast cars. But yeah, guys, I mean, LMP2 racing is insane. Those cars it's like F2. All those cars are exactly the same chassis, exactly the same engines. It's just the drivers and how the cars are set up that make the difference. And LMP2 racing is absolutely brilliant to watch. So it's always fun to keep an eye on that category when it comes to IMSA. But yeah, guys, IMSA this year, IMSA is going to be insane to watch. WEC is going to be more insane to watch. F1 is going to be awesome. I'm already busy following the World Rally Championship, WRC, for this year. I follow them on YouTube because their WRC TV app is just unaffordable. So I check highlights on YouTube, but I'm following that. And I mean, the motorsport here has kicked off with a bang. We had the 24 Hours of Daytona, which was hosted by IMSA, which was absolutely phenomenal. An epic race that I watched. We had the 12 Hours of Bathurst, which, if you guys haven't seen me absolutely explode my brain for the 12 Hours of Bathurst, go check out my TikTok and Instagram. Links to my social media pages are in the description down below. And the next race, the next big race we have is it's F1 preseason testing. Then it's the Qatar 1,812 kilometers for WEC. And then Formula One starts. And I think the next IMSA event, March is going to be insane because there's the 12 Hours of Sebring as well, which is hosted by IMSA, and that's the first race where the Aston Martin Valkyrie is going to be racing. So there's 4 massive events happening: 12 Hours of Sebring, Qatar 18 to 12 kilometers, F1 preseason testing, and the first race in Melbourne. 2025 is going to be amazing. So yeah, guys, the only thing I really wanted to say with this video is if you've never given endurance racing a chance, give it a go. It's really, really entertaining. It's honestly, in my personal opinion, it's more action-packed than Formula One. It's really just exceptional racing with some of the best drivers in the world, and the categories within the categories itself. The cars and the race and the drivers are so close together. It is nothing else but worth giving it a chance. So that's what I wanted to say. I'm stupidly excited. I'm going to mention it again for Ford coming in 2027 to the hypercar, the main prototype class. It's going to be insane. And yeah, guys, just wanted to have a little bit of a chat and not make it too long. Remember, you guys are amazing. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys for whatever short video or live stream comes next year on the channel. Remember, you guys are amazing. Your mind has to be stronger than your feelings, and I love you guys. Cheers!